So I wanted to first start off from the top. I wanted to just find out, how did you get into junk removal? And is it true that you own both? You got a junk removal business and a dumpster rental business?
It is. So I actually, 5 years ago, I was managing a life transformation program. So I've been in recovery for 12 years. And it was a really great program here in Sonoma County. And I was going to school full time and I was pregnant. And so I had so much going on. And then the pandemic hit, the school shut down as soon as I graduated, and the program I was managing shut down as well. And so I really didn't know what I was going to do. I was just at home, and my ex husband, he wanted to start a junk removal company. And it was really neat because I could manage everything behind the scenes at home and do like all the finances, all the scheduling, estimates, and then he could actually go out and do all the work. And then we were doing a lot of fire rebuilds because Sonoma County had gotten hit with so many fires, and there was really very few people that had dumpster rentals. Mostly it was just like the waste management and Pacific Sanitation. And so we started that branch of the company too, and it really took off. We started to do homeless encampments, and then my ex-husband and I, we divorced and he moved out of the area, and so I had all this equipment and a 2-year-old, and I thought, well, my friend's like, maybe God wants you to have this business, and I just started laughing. I'm like, God does not want me to have the business. I'm going back to law school. I'm going to be a lawyer. But here we are. So it's pretty cool. I really like it. I actually got my commercial license and my hazmat endorsement. And so I do a lot of hazmat cleanups as well. And I mostly do dumpster rentals. Honestly, junk removals are pretty challenging right now because it's so saturated in Sonoma County, and a lot of people aren't properly licensed or insured, or they dump illegally. And so I get underbid constantly, and it's hard to compete with that. So with the dumpster rentals, it's great because I don't have to sub out any labor. I can own and operate it. If I need to take my baby with me, I can do that. And so I do own both companies, but I prefer to really push the dumpster rental side.
Okay. Wow, there's a lot to digest there. We're
I
gonna
know.
have to break
I
this all down right now.
I was laughing because you asked me one question and I just kind of gave you a novel.
No, that's really good, but I want to break into it. So you first started obviously with the junk removal business. How
hmm
long were you up and running with junk removal before you got into dumpster rentals?
Probably a year, I would say.
Okay, and how was that first year, as far as getting business, and what kind of marketing campaign
Uh,
were you guys on that first year?
uh, Honestly, because I was my baby had to have surgery when he was born, so I was kind of like taking care of the kids, doing that, and my ex-husband was working full-time somewhere else, so we kind of just were pushing it on the weekends a little bit here and there. A lot of it was word of mouth, and we advertised through Nextdoor, and then some social media marketing. But then once we decided to really go full on, we literally, I want to say, every single marketing aspect. I mean, we were doing Nextdoor, we were doing Angie's List, we were doing Facebook, we were doing Instagram, Yelp, Google Ads. I mean, everything. And so it was good because Sonoma County had a pretty big homeless problem. And so we actually were getting contracted through the county to do all the homeless encampment cleanups. And so we had gotten hired to do the biggest homeless encampment in Sonoma County history. It was a massive job. It was, oh gosh, it probably lasted 6 weeks. And that's right when we had started the dumpster rental company, which was great because we were able to utilize both companies. And I'm so sorry, my husky is going crazy. but we were able to utilize both companies, and from that is where we really saw the benefit of the dumpster rental company, and that's when we started pushing that a little bit more.
When you first started with the junk removal, what kind of truck were you using? Since you kind of sound like you were doing it part-time at first. So
Yeah, I
did you
think we had a Dodge Ram 1500. Yeah,
okay.
just a basic pickup truck, and I bought a trailer. It was like a 14-yard little CB trailer, which was great. And honestly, there was not really a lot of junk removal companies, so it was cool. We had started the company, we named it after our baby, and we were kind of just pushing it to see where it would go. Kind of no plans for anything. And honestly, it really grew very fast. It became pretty successful. And then, like I said, with all the fire rebuilds, with the dumpster rentals, it really blew up. And then that homeless encampment job, I think we took 130 30-yard dumpster fulls of debris out of there. I mean, it was massive. It was probably a $700,000 job. It was
Wow.
crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. And just seeing like the need, like, and like I said, my ex-husband and I, we went our separate ways, and I started my own company because I stayed in the area. But just watching every year the market shift, like the first year, like I said, it was fire rebuilds. There was a lot of commercial jobs. The pandemic hit. Then everyone was stuck in their house. So the next year, it was more like a lot of renovations. People were bored looking at what they had to stare at all day when they were stuck inside. So they were demoing and remodeling. They were doing landscaping projects. Then that lifted, and then everyone kind of was hoarding everything when they were stuck inside. So now I do a ton of residential cleanouts, and it's mostly property owners that are just trying to get rid of stuff because it's so easy to just collect junk and hold on to it. And yeah,
What are the biggest differences that you've noticed between removal business and dumpster rentals?
honestly, I can operate the dumpster rentals 100% by myself. That company, I can own and operate. I don't have to worry about anyone. And like I said, I don't have to sub out labor. So for me, I prefer it just because I'm a single mom. I have stuff going on in my life that I can manage that schedule around, and I don't have to worry about if someone's going to show up to work, if I have enough people on my crew that day, if I have a huge job, am I going to be able to take care of everything by myself, if it's junk removals. So I definitely think there's that. And then also, I notice, like, with the economy, it's hard. Labor's expensive, and so a lot of people, that's the biggest difference is labor. I can drop off a dumpster, people load it themselves, so it cuts down costs for the consumer, and I don't have to pay out labor. So
Okay.